اخواتي بما انه ضليت لحالي تعالوا لعندي تعالوا يلا خلينا نشعله يلا صور كريمون يلا جنة معي جنة نطة يلا عصفور اسمع
Hello everyone and welcome to the SmckATACK Crown Jewel Edition. I am your host Jimmy T. That is my co-host. It's not John Enright. It is the evil doctor himself, Dr. Jeff Lippman. Welcome to the Crown Jewel post-game show right here on the SmckATACK. And what's going on, man? As you can see, I've been having all these problems, troubles, boom arms breaking, things just not working. But here we are finally for the review show.
Yeah, I'm just here, but back by popular demand, here to enjoy the ululation.
Yalla. Revamp says, hi guys, need that laugh, thanks.
What a mediocre show this was.
You came to, yeah, that's actually true. I don't know what to think about this show. I don't know if it's my bias to Saudi Arabia, shall I say. And when I say bias, I'm talking about in a sense where, the shows just don't really do it for me anymore, man. They're just, I don't know, I can't explain it.
You're not taking blood money anymore, huh?
Unfortunately, they couldn't pay me enough.
They couldn't pay you enough? What?
No,
$1.67 is too much for them?
Otherwise, I'd be all for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's blood money 15 now at this point.
I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's got to just be down to regular plasma.
regular plasma. Hey, is my internet fucking up? Can you see me?
I can see you. You look fuzzy. You're not like an HD like normally, like I am.
Yeah, friggin' hell.
It's like your regular computer camera is on, not one of your many HD toys.
Well, it's supposed to be 1080p. Anyway, Revamp says that it presents After Bad Blood Money 2024. I like that.
How about a bloody average show?
Yeah, well, we'll get into it in a moment. Zane Vicious says, what happened to the other co-host? Well, he's on, there he is, actually. He's right here. What up, bitches?
He's right there. Look at you, Zane. You're like magic.
I know, see?
Zane
says the name, and he appears.
It's like Joe Hendry.
Are you out and about, or did you want to join us? I don't know. Let me know, and I'll send you a link if you're available. But anyway, let's get into the show, though, Jeff, for the time being. I'm surprised that we started off with the Bloodline feud, shall I say, as the first matchup.
I was the first, and then all of a sudden it hit me. What a dunce I am. Of course, this is Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel. Of course, the men's Crown Jewel title is going to close out the show. And then, of course, I realized I got my first pick wrong because they have to end on a pop. So I realized a whole bunch of things afterwards that probably anybody who could put two and two together would have realized beforehand, before hitting send on that tweet.
Well, funny enough, I got this prediction right. I predicted the new Bloodline to win the match. And, I mean, look, storyline-wise, it made sense for the new Bloodline to actually win. So I'm surprised you actually went against that, Jeff, to be fair.
Well, I think both could make sense. I mean, first, I'm conditioned to the Bloodline, no matter what the card is, sort of being the closing show, the closing act, and because it's a house show, the faces go over. And I figured you didn't reunite the gang just to have them lose right away. But then you could have the beatdown and then the Sami Zayn thing and, whatever it was. So I knew that part was going to happen. But yeah, but actually the story was better that they told than what I thought. I mean, it was more layered that, Jay still didn't trust Roman entirely, or at least they were all trying to have sort of Jay and Roman were sort of having a dick measuring contest, and they weren't exactly on the same page, and and it didn't work out for them, and and a little bit surprised they gave it to Solo, because I figured they'd give it to Jacob, but I guess they're going to let that slow burn for a while, and they're still trying to make Solo seem like he's credible. I guess it took 3 spikes, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people got this one right, and I got it wrong. So what can I say? I'm a dummy. Yeah,
you know the dummy. Jerome Hall's made it into the building, and he says, "Good day, HMG family. What's crack-a-lackin', Jerome? Long time no see, actually, man. I haven't seen you around on the shows for a while. But
yeah, the
thank
Hall
you
of
for joining
Injustice.
us. Yeah, and actually, thank you to everyone that's joining us. We're pretty strong right now. Again, my internet is fluffing up, but Jeff, getting to the match a little bit while I just refresh my browser.
So don't say it's fluffing up. Say it's Colin Wysonging up.
Well, okay, fair enough. It is Colin Wysonging it up, but then we
I
just
don't even know.
refresh.
I don't even know him. I just know the joke.
No, look, yeah, he's pretty gay, Jeff. That's all you need to know. He's a happy guy.
I mean,
he's a real happy guy.
It's 2024. Isn't like everyone under 40 pretty gay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe he's under 40 or he just hit 40, but nevertheless, yeah. Everyone is pretty gay these days, including Zayn.
Straight as the new gay.
It's true. I mean, what do you think of the match, Jeff? I mean, it was good. It was all right. It was typical. Everything seemed predictable. And as far as the story goes, for me anyway, I felt this match was too soon. You know what? I would have been happy even if this match didn't even happen on this actual card.
I mean, as a general proposition, I mean, everyone's heard me say it twice. I thought the show was pretty mediocre, and I think that almost every single one of these matches could have been on a SmackDown or reserved for Saturday night's main event. I mean, but we're getting Survivor Series War Games next month, so I mean, it does make sense that the bad guys won so that the good guys win at War Games. I mean, that too would make sense. But so would the bad guys winning at War Games if you wanted to build it up for another 6 months until it culminates in WrestleMania, assuming that's still part of the plan, and why wouldn't it be? Anyway, that's not what you asked me. I thought the first half of the match was boring as hell. Let me start with that. Roman Reigns is in full movie star shape. I mean, he's got his 6-pack back. He's cut. I mean, he's ready to take over to be Prince Namor when they redo Wakanda Forever the right way this time. So or at least cast him as Wonder Man or Hercules instead of that actor that has chicken arms. Do something with the guy.
That played Hercules.
Yeah, the Rock is like he's like a kibosh on wrestling now. On movies, it's like everything he touches fails. So maybe try with his cousin, see if freshen things up a little bit. First half of the match,
what, dude?
Yeah,
there was a bit of criticism about the Rock being Hercules because he wasn't a great guy.
Well, that's the funny because I haven't dropped it yet, but I did a show recently with See the Superior and George O'Connor, who actually is the graphic artist and novelist, best New York Times bestselling author of the graphic novel series The Olympians.
Nice.
And also he's working on the Asgardians right now. And he actually liked the casting because, Hercules is brown. He was a mixed race. He was raised in Crete. He's
he's a half god.
Half god, Zeus, who knows what he really looks like, and half what was the princess's name? Anyway, but he actually liked the casting. Me, however, listen, I think Roman's a good enough compromise, but that's not. Anyway, the second half of the match was much more enjoyable. I thought that the end of this match, sort of like almost all the matches in the card, was a little bit overbooked, like it was a little bit campy. Like there was like
way overbooked.
There was like a 6 or 7 minute period where it was just Roman and Solo in the ring, and I couldn't even see hide nor hair of the other 5 guys. I mean, it's like that time that AOP got knocked out at the beginning of a match, and you didn't see them for 12 minutes. I mean, it's like
remember that? That's loaded. That's just shocking. But anyway, yeah.
I mean, what happened? Did they get taken away for questioning or something by the king? I don't know, but. Second half of the match was enjoyable enough. The sequence at the end with Sami Zayn was predictable but good, and then I think that Solo ducking out of the way and Roman and Sami hitting each other wasn't. And I think that furthered the story that the OG bloodline is together, but it's not really a bloodline. It's not a tribe united yet. It's still it's still sort of a ball of confusion that means well, but it's not on the same page. So I like the story. The match was fine, but again, started slow for me. The heels won. I think maybe they should have started the match maybe with the U.S. title to keep the crowd excited.
No, absolutely. And before I move on, I forgot to mention, we did get a few releases actually. Was it yesterday or this morning, pretty much?
Yeah, well, I don't know what time zone you're in the future there on your imaginary dimension, but it was yesterday.
well, for example, Blood Money started for me at 4 a.m. my time, so I woke up at 4 a.m.
So it was like 5 days ago that this happened for you.
Yeah, something like that. I'm ahead though, remember? So, but anyway, but before I went to sleep is when I saw the releases, and I thought, Sean Ross Sapp actually ruined the fact that Indy Hartwell got released, but I was wrong. She already knew apparently. But nevertheless, Indy Hartwell, Baron Corbin, and Tegan Nox are your latest releases. Tegan Nox, I mean, everyone thought she was released a year ago at this point. Baron Corbin, I'm kind of surprised with. And heck, I know Indy Hartwell is kind of useless, right, for a lot of people. And I'm not trying to stick up for her because she's from one neck of the woods. But I'm a little surprised though, because she's a popular person in the back, but that's not what makes you, a great wrestler. That doesn't mean shit. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you're liked and whatnot. The point is, I'm kind of surprised that she did get released though.
Well, technically, Baron Corbin just was told his contract is not going to be renewed, which right. I'm told from AEW fans is a huge difference from being released, as far as So I mean, but it can be important. I don't know when his contract expires, but I assume it expired October 31st, or it expires January 31st, because these releases they have their 90-day non-compete, which are enforceable, and they'll get paid for 90 days. Tegan Nox, under what's her name? Something Newell, something
like that.
Newell Dixon or Dixon Newell. Anyway, whatever. She was basically asking, either to be pushed to release like a few months ago, and I remember telling her, unemployment sucks worse. I mean,
I'd be grateful, man. Jeez.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, listen, Tegan Nox, the WWE has passed her by. She never got over. You see what's going on in NXT. They've got these short juggernauts, and literally the juggernaut, Jordan Grace, coming in. You've got Stephanie Bakir. You have Zarya coming in. They're and then just more of your traditional wrestler types who are fantastic. I mean, you got Fallon Henley, JC Jane, Gigi Dolan's healthy. You got Nikita Lyons, who's big of the juggernaut too. Sol Ruka, Kalani Jordan, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. Tatum Paxley. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches. They're sending people to TNA and to the Indies to work, and it's been too successful. Jakara and Lash are the women's division in NXT too successful compared to the men's.
I might as well call it a women's promotion now at this point in NXT. I mean, it feels like there's way more women on that show.
How long have we known each other?
A few years now.
Right. And didn't I used to say routinely, nobody cares about women's wrestling?
You did, actually. Right. That was one of your trademarks.
Right. For like the last two and a half years, I've been saying they need to have an all-women show.
Yeah, you know what? I'm cool with it if they actually go down that route. Look, I might have been one of the very few that actually enjoyed the Women's Revolution PLE pay-per-view, whatever it was at the time.
Just a progressive guy.
I thought it was not bad. Yeah,
you're just a progressive guy. I'm just an old stodgy fuddy duddy. No, but it's won me over. I mean, it's terrific, and the women in NXT are terrific, and and frankly, on this card, I don't think they were perfect, but I enjoyed the two women's matches more than most of the men's matches. But Tegan, nothing. She'll get chances. She'll MLW, TNA. NWA, TNA. The only thing about TNA is that they work with WWE, but I don't think they care. If anything, if they if TNA really wanted her or Indy, maybe they could test a relationship and say, hey, will you either waive the non-competes or still pay them and while they work for us, down here, and then
Yeah,
we'll
why not?
who if they really want them, they could test it. I don't know that they do. There's always AEW. They have a roster of about 42 women, and they use about 8 of them, but still, fine. Indy, I feel like very nice. Everyone seems to be universally liked. It sort of felt that when she got drafted to Raw that it was sort of like an appreciation bonus. It wasn't really for merit, and being liked is enough. Baron Corbin, all of a sudden there's all this nostalgia for Baron Corbin, how great a worker he is, and all that. Baron Corbin was over for 4 weeks when he was broke.
I agree, man.
That's it.
All I've seen on the internet is literally like Baron Corbin, blah blah blah. Everyone acting like they suddenly give a shit about Baron Corbin. Give me a break, man.
And they got guys they can put into a slot. If you want big guys that you're not necessarily going to push, you got a younger version than Josh Briggs, or if you insist, Brooks Jensen, or even Duke Hudson or whatever. Obafemi's the guy you're going to push, but Baron Corbin, listen, if he went on the Indies and if they're friendly, him and Dijak could make a pretty good Twin Towers type of attraction on the Indies.
I can't. You know how I feel about Dijak.
I'm just saying
what they good riddance.
Listen, they'll be on the U.S. Indies. They're not going to be coming to your neck of the woods, so you'll never see them. Don't worry.
I wouldn't put it past them, dude. I guarantee you they'll probably bring him down. Actually,
who's going to pay 2 former WWE rates and fly them in?
I'll tell you who. Have you heard of World Series Wrestling?
Well, from you last time we spoke,
right? That they've got money. They always bring American stars down. Well, whatever how you want to call stars. It's usually a bunch of AEW guys, TNA guys, and just whatever big indie name. But they bring them down at least 4 or 5 times a year, dude. I kid you not.
When you bring a tag team where both the guys think they're worth $7,500 or $10,000 plus, first class round trip tickets.
Apparently, they get looked after really well, man. But I've wanted to go to some of the
guys
shows.
They're both like 6'6" and 6'8". They need first class.
Well, yeah, I guess. No, you're right for sure. But no, they do get looked after. And I know Dijak was here not too long ago, or he's coming. But I couldn't care less. I wouldn't even go to it. But I just want to say hello to T.N. Cooper, as in AKA Josh. Thank you for joining us, man. And Revamped Wrestling says, I read that WWE has changed their 90-day protocol, and that since Baron and Tegan hadn't been used, their 90-day clause was granted in the time not being utilized. But wait a minute. Corbin, though, is just going to run out his contract. It's a little bit different. He's
been non-renewed, and I don't know where you read that. I'm not saying you didn't, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but I haven't read it. So, and I haven't heard it on any podcast that I listened to, and I think that I would have heard that from some of them, and I think that would have been a pretty big deal on Twitter, Facebook, etc. So that seems like something that would have gotten to me. But listen, if you have it, send a link to Jimmy, and we'll look at it. But I think that's misinformation. But Corbin, there's no non-compete. His contract is up. He's free to work about the country. He's a free agent immediately. But the other two, they're on their 90-day non-competes. Remember, the FTC passed the rule, and then it was challenged in court. The trial level court upheld it at first, but then it was reversed on either appeal or a full hearing, and so it's struck down. It was a federal court, so it's kaput.
Very interesting. Well, anyway, let's get back to Crown Jewel, though, because we can talk about this all night. I'm sure there'll be more information in the coming days, and I'm sure myself and the vet will more than likely talk about it on that wreckage tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. Excuse me, 10 a.m. Central.
Isn't that still collecting his non-compete? Didn't he stretch this out like Bobby Bonilla over 20 years?
Yeah.
They have Jamie Williams Day in WWE where they send him a check once a year.
He's the best in the world now, Jeff. Be careful. The best in the world.
Listen, so was Bobby Bonilla for like 25 minutes.
Josh says, good luck to Anna Jay tonight.
Who's Anna Jay?
I mean, yeah, that's true. Who is Anna Jay? We're talking WWE, pal. Come on. But anyway, as I said before, though, the new and improved, or if you want to call it improved, or can we call it the all new, all different bloodline in the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga, end up getting the win. And funny enough, weird enough, Solo gets the pin on Roman, which is bizarre to me. But post-match, Roman tries to attack Solo from the mat, but his bloodline overwhelms him and also fends Jimmy Uso off as he makes the save. Jay eats more beatdown too. And then we see a chair shot as Sami Zayn is here to save his buddy Jay. He slides into the ring and stares Solo as Solo tries to invite him in for a hug. We've seen this shit before. But anyway, Zayn turns to look at Jay down and out as the chair is wrapped around his neck, and back to Sikoa. He approaches for a hug and turns it into an exploded suplex as the OG bloodline is back in the fight, and the four of them get Solo isolated in the middle of the ring as one in each corner. As Sami and Roman charge, Sikoa ducks, and Reigns eats a haluva kick, funny enough. Solo then starts cackling about it on the ramp as Jim yells at Sami over the misfire as Jay pulls his brother away and tries to play peacemaker between his brother and his friend. Again, I still don't like, before we move on, this is going, I feel like we're going too quick for this part of the storyline. Like I said before, like Zayn says, it will never end. Probably won't at this point. But the point is,
there's a lot of Samoans and a lot of Tongans. They haven't even gotten to Fiji and Hawaii yet.
You know what's bizarre about that? For an island, right, and for a little bunch of islands that has under 1 million people, they're freaking everywhere.
There's like more Puerto Ricans in the U.S. than there are in Puerto Rico. There's more Cubans probably in the U.S. than there are in Cuba. I mean, so the Samoans doing a lot of that propagation, in the San Francisco area.
Well, dude, not just in the US, but it's full of them over here too. Like I said, I grew up with them. You know what I mean?
That's
They're
great.
Just everywhere. They're everywhere.
This is awesome.
Except
it's all part of my master plan for everybody to look like The Rock and J-Lo within 100 years.
But you know what's funny? I don't think they actually go to the UK or Canada really, for some reason.
Why would anyone go to the UK or Canada? First of all, they speak English.
Yeah. Well, no, because you never hear of a Polynesian person from the UK or Canada. I've never met one, never seen one. Period.
I don't know, but I'm going to spend a lot of time thinking about this now.
I'm sure there's probably one or two, but no, really, they're not there for some reason.
Okay.
But anyway, let's get into the next matchup. Like I said, slow down with the Bloodline storyline, please. Make it.
You think like the Algonquin said? Nah, we're all set up here. The Ojibwe
has something for you, actually, Jeff. He says, "Wait, you call yourself Evil Dose and don't know who Anna Jay is? She was in the
First of all, revamped. I know everything. Second of all, I'm from the darker order. The darker order. We're twice as evil. We've had success.
I mean, I can't believe you actually fell for that revamp. It's unbelievable. I thought you would have gotten his sarcasm. Clearly not. But
we're all wrestling fans. We're all not that bright. Let's be frank.
What does that mean?
It means we're adults that watch wrestling. How smart can we be?
I know. Okay, look, I've look. Do you want to be honest, Jeff? I've sat there and wrapped my head around that for many years since I've been an adult, right?
It's like, goddamn, would I still watch Saved by the Bell? Yes, I would, but it's not for adults.
I actually would too. I loved Saved by the Bell growing up, dude. Honestly, as cheesy as it was.
I know more people who watch anime than watch The Sopranos. It just tells you.
Right. Now, that is a bit, I'm not really into anime for some reason, man.
Neither am I. I'm just saying, there are more people that watch anime than like Succession.
Well, each to their own, I guess. But bit sad. Just quite. No, I'm joking, man. If that's your thing, that's your thing. Before we move on, Josh wants to know. He wonders how long WWE can run the Bloodline storylines for. If they slow the fuck down, they can really fucking run it a little bit, further. But it's getting to a point where, Jeff, like I said, I know I want to move on, but I just want to ask you this. Are we seeing the same old shit just rehashed now in 2024 when it comes to the Bloodline? Because I believe
that's wrestling. The only difference is is that Jacob Fatu is like an athletic freak, and at some point, Hikuleo, if he can get himself to average, he's going to be a tall giant. Well, Tongan, not Samoan, Polynesian.
Still Polynesian, right?
Right. So that's going to be a little bit of an added wrinkle. I mean, sort of like the great Khali, but he can move, hopefully, anyway. I don't know.
Oh, Hikuleo is pretty bad in the ring, dude. I can't stand him in the ring.
Wow, that's terrible because like we had the conversation and talking about how Tama Tonga was not Tongaloa was okay when he was in New Japan, and now all of a sudden like he's the guy left out on the side.
He's fucked up one too many times, Jeff. To be fair, I mean, what do you do like at this point?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what happened. I mean, I understand why New Japan let him go. I mean, but I'd never seen him be anything other than decent in the ring. I'm not saying he was great, but he was a perfectly good tag team wrestler, and I've seen him in whatever a dozen matches with Gorillas of Destiny over the last 8 years or whatever. And I saw him in Impact before that when he was learning, but he wasn't great, but he was fine. He's just like anybody. He's like what's like Joe Hendry is now, not charisma wise, but skill level. He was fine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's odd. It's very odd because I feel like he's nervous or walking on eggshells, or maybe he's overhyping himself by thinking, just don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, and then you fuck up every time by overthinking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be that. Maybe he's just got a pinched nerve and he just can't move that well. And they're like, we don't care. We want the story, and we'll worry about replacing you when someone comes along. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But you said you wanted to move on. How long can this can go on? As long as there's more Polynesian wrestlers, and there's going to be tons of them. Are we seeing the same? All wrestling is reruns. It's just a question as to whether it's interesting. I think as long as Roman is around, it's interesting enough. And Jacob Fatu is going to raise the level of interest. So when The Rock comes back, you're all going to get goosebumps again.
You're going to get goosebumps again. Well, Zane Vicious thinks that Hikuleo and Zilla Fatu will drag us through to 2030. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't think that's a joke. I think he's saying. I mean, and Journey Fatu, and there's 100 of them.
Oh fuck, man! If they go
and Rikishi's still having kids. Right now, his wife just gave birth to triplets.
No, come on, wait. Is you being legit?
And Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho, they just gave birth to one of Rikishi's kids. Am I being legit? You're making revamped wrestling feel smart right now because you're a dummy. Yeah. You fell for that?
I did.
The Rikishi's wife just had triplets. I mean, she might have.
I was going to say, I know you were fucking around.
Or his brother, Rakashi. Maybe he had triplets. What's Rikishi's brother's name? The Tonga kid?
You're talking about,
45 years
ago? Tongan kid, and there's Umaga as well. Tongan kid is Jacob Fatu's dad.
Uh-huh. Right. Well, him and his wife, they just had quadruplets.
Well, there's a joke here in Australia about Islanders, right? That if you see a Tarago, run. Because usually, do you know what a Tarago is, by the way?
Nobody knows what a Tarago is.
It's a van. It's a Toyota van.
Oh, I assumed it was like some sort of like a root, like a gourd, like a carrot or a turnip or something.
Yeah, something like that. Well, don't blame me. Blame the Japanese. They call it a Tarago. But I'm sure you guys would have them. You just haven't noticed it. They're just a van, but usually they're full of Islanders, like always. Like I mean,
well, being that I'm not a trafficker, I don't need a cargo van. So,
fuck, that's funny. Well, that's just as of this. Oh, you couldn't hear it because the volume was down. Oh well. But anyway. Let's get back into the show, shall we? Because next, and boy, I blame Big Ray on this. I love you, Ray, but god damn it, I shouldn't have listened to you. But anyway, it is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, who are your women's tag team championships. And mind you, this is for your WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. So Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, your champions, versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Damage Control in Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Versus Metaphor and Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend.
Meta 2.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Meta 2. But look, initially, I went with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
so did I.
Right. And then, when we were doing our predictions, Ray's like, Chelsea Green, you should go with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? You might be onto something because because he had a good point. If there was going to be a title change on this show, it was going to be that.
Let's
Right?
not dwell on the past and Ray duping you to embarrass yourself in front of millions of people again. Let's do our ratings 4-1, worst to best of rating their outfits. I'll start.
0.
With regret, I think that Bianca and Jade look like Teddy Hart bedazzled them too long, so they are in the 4th position.
Whoa.
Yeah, they were not bougie-licious. That was bedazzled horrible.
Damn, blame the Sheiks.
Now listen, I don't know why everyone laughed about it when it happened to Farouk. I don't know why they laughed about it when it happened to Cross. I don't know why the Vikings can do it. I don't know why Drew McIntyre can do it. But Piper Niven with the kilt and like she's a gladiator, no bueno. I love Chelsea's was great. If Piper just wore the same outfit as Chelsea, they would have been in it because Piper had to continue with her gladiator armor or whatever that's supposed to be in the 3rd position. I really enjoyed Io Sky and Kairi Sane's. Very, like they were like troopers on a starship or something, like, part of the Imperial Horde. I liked and dug it. But listen, Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, they look like superheroes. They look like they were the meta too. And so I'm going to give their outfits number 1.
Interesting. Really,
I think we're probably the only show that's going to rank the outfits, by the way.
100% will be the only show.
Because I am very Colin Wysong right now.
Are you very gay, Jeff?
You don't have to explain the joke. If you have to explain the joke, it's not a good joke. And I already told you, straight is the new gay.
Every time we mention Colin's name, usually say his name and he appears. I kid you not. It always happens. So I don't know if he's creeping right now. Usually he's creeping. But if you're there, Colin.
Well, Brandon's probably doing a watch along of this show right now. So
actually, Brandon is due to have a watch along of this show. As a matter of fact, not our show, is in the Crown Jewel. Just never put a time. Sometime tonight. But anyway, we're live right now, so it doesn't matter.
Don't you think he already did the watch along while Crown Jewel was on?
No, he was saying it after the fact. It was going to be the replay he was going to watch.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, shout outs to Brandon. Whoop whoop. He does a watch along on
spoilers. Spoilers in our review show.
Oh, Scotty Woodford's in the house. I mean, our own boy Scotty Woodford. He says Baron Corbin should tag with Darren Corbin.
I agree. Nobody knows who Darren Corbin is, but okay.
Fuck, that's a good one. That deserves a star. That right there. That there you go. Scotty, you got the star. You got the comment of the night so far, dude. Excellent. It's going to be a hard one to beat. And Zane says, gay.
No, we didn't. He said, Colin Wysong.
He did. Scotty, that was a great comment, man. You're still making me cackle at that one. Anyway, I'm not going to rate.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rate them 1. All of them.
Ugh.
You know why? Because they're covered up. That's why. And that sucks. Hello, Saudi Arabia. We're in 2024. Let the women
By the way, during the pre-show, they had like the Arabian hostess or whatever doing a show, and like she was wearing like a suit with like a low-cut shirt. I'm like wondering how her head didn't get cut off.
I've seen that actually on a few documentaries that I watched about Saudi Arabia. I don't understand what's going on there, dude. Maybe you can't like, maybe it's a foreign thing.
As long as like you're indoors on a private property owned by the Sultan of Swing or something.
I have no idea, bro. But I've heard there's some swinging going on in Saudi Arabia on the low, if you know what I mean.
No, I heard that they all fly to Dubai and Abu Dhabi for the swinging on the high low. Yeah. and Macau.
And Macau. Well, Macau, you can't get your head sort of chopped off usually compared to
Saudi princes don't get their head chopped off.
Yeah, I guess not. You're right. That's true. That's true. What am I saying? I guess they even been to the the Diddy parties for and they probably love baby oil, shall I say? Take that.
They love oil. It's a petroleum-based economy.
They do. Actually do. Well, anyway, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill do win by pinfall with a Doomsday device on Piper Niven. retaining the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. God damn you, Ray. I can't believe I went back on it. Otherwise, I'd have been 2-0 right now. But you know what, man? I think it's long overdue. Can we give him to Chelsea Green and Piper Niven? Hey, just give it to Chelsea Green.
They had them twice. I mean, listen, Chelsea Green was definitely the most fun in the match, and that's her job, and she does it better than pretty much anyone in wrestling.
Anyone.
She's not quite R-Truth, and she's not quite the Miz. She's sort of something in between, and she's
that's a great comparison. I never thought of it like that, but you actually spot on. That's a great comparison, dude.
Yeah, like she's a comedic character that doesn't think she's comedic. Like she doesn't realize that she's a chicken shit, but she's a chicken shit heel.
Right.
It's actually really brilliant work. This match had a lot of spots. This match had a lot of clumsy spots. This match had quite a few missed spots. The match was a sloppy mess, but it was a sloppy fun mess.
It wasn't a hot mess.
It was a hot mess. I enjoyed this match, actually. Not because it was great, because it wasn't great, but I thought it was fun. Listen, I'm well aware that Jade Cargill, she did her bro kick and she barely hit the shin of Lash Legend. I don't know if that's Lash's fault or Jade's. It could be both of them. But, you know, I saw where Kairi Sane missed the spot entirely and Io thankfully saved it. Yes, I saw all of the sloppiness involved. I still thought it was fun. I still had fun watching this match.
Well, it's one of those matches and one of those events that I don't think they gave a shit that they were messing up shit, if that makes any sense.
I think they had too many people in there, and Lash takes up so much space, and her and Jakara are both rookies, and Jade's, in essence, a rookie. And I think they were really super excited to be in Saudi Arabia on a PLE, not on like the pre-show or the night before or whatever. I think they were just like all really excited to be there and representing. And, you know, the Damage Control was really trying to keep the match together and keep the crowd into it. And I think even too much to their own detriment. I think Chelsea was the only one who got everything exactly right. Piper was Piper. But I don't know. What can I say? I mean, Bianca looked like $1 million. She tries to hold it together. But, you know, Jakara and Lash tried to do the same move too many times, and it took too many times to do it. Like, they didn't think to use the ropes. They wanted to show how strong Lash was. And, you know, one time it was impressive when she, I don't know, I think she just picked up Kairi Sane and whatnot. But in any event,
Sane, though. Come on.
Exactly. It's Kairi Sane. But still, it's a human being. Anyway, whatever. Like I said, it was a hot mess, but to me, it was fun. And your champs retain. The She-Vengers retain.
The She-Vengers. Ooh, I like it. Ooh la la. Well, Revamp says Jade Cargill apparently looked moody or something. Kind of dejected even. Yeah, I kind of noticed that.
Well, she missed a couple. She missed a couple moves. And she didn't outshine Lash Legend. But I think she's also upset because she made the mistake of letting Teddy Hart make her outfit.
That's disturbing, bro. Teddy Hart. What's he been doing these days? Is he even still
bedazzling cars? I don't know what Teddy Hart does this day. I assume he's leaving jurisdictions to avoid warrants, but I don't really know.
Well, yeah, there's that. I don't want to laugh, but yeah, that's true. But he has a whole lot of cats too.
Yeah, because he sells them.
Yeah, I don't like how he treats them either. But anyway,
you mean by juggling them? And he says they trust me. No, they're kittens, and they have no control over what you're doing. You lunatic.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself, Teddy. Just saying.
Yes, seriously.
Anyway, let's go to the next match, which really fucking disappointed me, dude. Extremely. Even though I picked the right guy, but still, I'm not happy about it. But Big Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins.
Actually, I thought this match was pretty good. I also regrettably knew that Seth. I knew Seth was going to win the battle, but I thought he was going to. I knew he was going to win the match, but I thought he'd lose the battle. I'm not sure that wasn't the plan, and maybe Bronson Reed's the cut over his head, cut it short from what they were planning.
It felt like that. I'm not going to lie. That's kind of right.
Yeah,
it did feel
I mean the stare down and Seth saying, "You can find me, big boy." No, it should have been like, "I'm done with you." So
He also said, "What's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you? I can't believe you're getting up." That's what I read with his lips.
I don't read lips, but it seems like he said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? He did say that, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Um,
Yeah.
but I think the end was supposed to be something, not the result, but I think there was supposed to be a beatdown of, by Bronson Reed, and I think the ref said, "You're cut. We're getting that looked at." But anyway, I mean, listen. They announced a 4-way match for some tournament to find the number one contender. Very lazy. I'm hating this Triple H lazy AEW type booking, but it's with Dominic, who already won
It
a
is.
match to get a title shot supposedly.
Right.
Damian
What the fuck is
Priest,
going on
who
with that?
lost that match. Remember when we did the picks and I said I think Finn Balor needs to win that match to help Damian
Yeah,
Priest because there's nothing else to do with him? I was
do
right.
remember, right?
I was right.
Oh, yeah, you
They
were.
have nothing. They couldn't move him off of Judgment Day, so they put him back in a program with Judgment Day. I mean, they don't know
Dude,
what to do with
they
him.
didn't know what to do with him even when he won the championship, straight up. And I was saying that too, like that they didn't know what to do. They're just like even Rhea Ripley. Can I ask, is this injury legit? Is she legitly injured?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So what the fuck is this bullshit? Why is she
I
going
think,
off the shelf again, kayfabe wise?
I don't know. Maybe just to have other people work. Maybe they really do want to have Tiffy cash in on Liv and go to
And
Raw.
what, she's just going to overshadow everybody, and that's why they're going to keep her away from the current batch
I don't know.
of
I
women?
don't really know, but I mean, I see that they're saying that she broke the orbital bone here,
No, that's a load
and
of shit. That's bullshit. But yeah,
and
kayfabe,
usually it's
they
over
said she broke it.
here. But usually
Right.
when someone breaks their orbital bone, there's a huge melon on your face. I mean, there's swelling and blood in
Well,
your
the blood
eye.
looked fake as shit, dude. Like when you saw on NXT when she
Well,
got
the thing
jumped.
on that NXT was fine. But I don't know. I mean, if she did actually break or fracture an orbital bone here, I don't know if it has the same sort of effect on physiology of your face, because it's softer here. But
Right.
I don't know. I'm going with I don't think so, but I don't really know,
No, I
because it
don't
really
think so
doesn't make
either.
sense to take her
No.
off TV.
Again, when she was already off TV, and funny enough, when the angle between her and Liv Morgan, the first initial injury, she wasn't even really. I said back then that she's not really injured, right?
Mhm.
And she wasn't. She really wasn't injured. I know she gets homesick. I've said this a million times, right? That she tends to want to come back home quite a bit, man, and she does. I mean, every time she has time off, she comes flying straight back home all the time, dude. Like without.
Well, did she
Without
say
thinking
something
about
about
it.
that? Like she's embarrassed because her husband lost to Adina Cole.
Dana Cole. I knew that was going to happen. And that's
Of course, it's going to
don't get me started.
happen. Buddy
Don't
Matthews
get me
doesn't
started
win
on that,
singles
please.
matches, and
But
he
he
barely
shouldn't lose
wins
to some
trios
pipsqueak.
matches.
But he shouldn't lose to some pipsqueak like Adam Cole. That just pisses me off, man.
Nobody should lose to Adam Cole except maybe Orange Cassidy.
Don't even get me started on him. I want blood orange now, Jeff. That's all we're going to get.
Okay.
Was it Zayn that
Not
said
we.
that? I think it was Zayn.
Who's we,
Kimosabi?
Kimosabi?
I'm joking. Anyway.
I'm 28 weeks free of AEW.
Good for you. I'm jealous. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Big Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. I enjoyed this match. The match didn't go for too long. I mean, we had tsunamis pretty fucking early. What I didn't appreciate, everyone's kicking out of their finishes and signature moves, like pretty much emphatically. You know what I mean? One count and whatnot. Like they totally just buried their own finishes, but that's cool. But basically, with what happened to Reed, I hated his MF Doom little picture that he had on his trunks. I know he's a hip hop aficionado. He thinks he is anyway.
Who?
But MF Doom. You don't know who MF Doom is?
No, of course I don't.
Really? Well, he's passed away sadly now. No one knows who MF Doom is, really. I'm not kidding.
Oh.
That's his gimmick. He wears a mask.
Mm-hmm.
He's, some people either love him and he's like a legendary rapper. Others can't stand him. He's a real gimmick guy anyway, right? I've got his albums, but I was never his biggest fucking fan. I hate the mask.
So what you're telling me is the Transformer face on Bronson Reed's outfit was a
MF
rapper?
Doom. Yes. That was the mask that he wore. As a matter of fact,
I thought it was Optimus Prime. So what do I know?
No, it was Corey Graves also mentioned it too. So, and like Blaze Nick said, he's always blazed off his tree. Rest in peace, MF Doom. Yeah,
Oh,
it's true.
yeah, sure.
Jimmy tweeted you a video about Rhea injury. Which me? I
He
tweeted.
tweeted it to you.
Oh, you did. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. He always chops me out with those videos and little bits and snippets of information. But I still call bullshit on that. Anyway, just quietly. But anyway, back to the Seth and Bronson Reed match. This match for me was probably the match I enjoyed the most, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. For a straight up match, I would too. I mean, it wasn't very long. It was pretty impactful. They brawled. It took a while for the match to actually.
They did a lot for 10 minutes, dude.
And listen, I don't really like to give Seth Rollins a lot of credit, but doing the curb stomp from like the second or top rope, that was pretty impressive.
That was impressive. But you know what wasn't impressive is how Bronson Reed got cut hard way. And that was from was it? Yeah, it was another stomp, I think.
It was a curb stomp on the stairs, yeah.
And he just went head first, smack, like right onto the steps, and that's when he started bleeding. And you're right, there could have been an audible here where they called it. I mean, Seth was going to win anyway. There's no ifs and buts about it.
No, I think the win was the same. I just think that the finish would have been Bronson Reed getting up and tsunamiing him another 12 times. I mean, so I don't know, but I thought that this was the best match of the night for me. That it wasn't like a gimmicky match.
I agree 100%. And meat matters in professional wrestling. Trust me.
Yeah,
people love to see big guys in big spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cody was right. It's a vanity business. It's show business. You're showing.
It's a vanity fucking business. Absolutely, it is. And you know what? I know he doesn't have the best body, but bodies do matter too. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's a vanity business.
AEW has had 3 1 million plus YouTube views in the last year. One was the debut of Mercedes Moné. Within like 2 days or something. One was the finish of the Adam Cole and Christian I Quit match, and the other was Bobby Lashley debuting the other night. What's Bobby Lashley? Bobby Lashley is the ultimate body guy.
I'm still pissed. Look, this is a good reason for me to watch AEW, obviously, but I'm pissed that WWE let these guys go over there. I'm really pissed, man.
So am I. I'm with MVP.
AEW guys.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just sad, dude.
Especially with all the faction thing, and the Street Profits was the wrong group to team him with. It was working perfectly. You didn't like Cedric so much? Fine, take Cedric out. Put Omos there. You got a bunch of big guys, and then you have the biggest guy behind him. But you could have left Cedric there.
Would have been perfect for for the new, what's it called?
Yeah. And they had it set up where they had the young OG come in, and not the actual young OG, but Carmelo Hayes. That could have been the student who eventually turned on the master. And I mean, listen, I understand they have a lot going on with the bloodline, and the titles are wrapped up in Gunther and Cody and whatever. But they could have done 2 months where Bobby gets a title, but Carmelo thinks it should have been his shot. Maybe they're 2 out of 3 guys in a triple threat, and then Carmelo betrays him, and then whoever had the title wins it the next month.
Plus, with the bloodline storyline, you don't need any titles with that. That's in its own stratosphere. That's in its own bubble. It doesn't need championships and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think that, listen, I know everyone's like, oh, Cody and Gunther, they're such great wrestlers now. But I mean, between the two of them, well, we'll get to that. But I actually find them both to be extraordinarily boring wrestlers.
We'll get to that because I've got quite a negative things to say too about it. But anyway, but we'll get there. But yeah, anyway, Seth Rollins does win by pinfall with the blackout, or the stomp, whatever you want to call it. But next, fucking hell, this match. It is Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax for your WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship. And did you know the Crown Jewel Championships, I only know this till tonight, or today, that the belt itself is made of Australian crystals.
Yeah, is that something special, or is that like cubic zirconia?
I'm going with the latter, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we know that they're never going to leave like the storeroom of that WWE experience in Riyadh. So
yeah, they're not, because like they give a shit about them anyway. But can I just say, Didn't they say there were real diamonds on those belts though?
Yeah, they said like something like over like 50 carats worth.
And I believe there has to be because the Saudis don't fuck around. So
Right. I
I'm
mean,
assuming.
listen. I doubt that any of them are actually high carats. There's probably like 1/4 carats and like in various stones, and you add it all up with the 300 stones on that thing, you get to 50 carats. But anyway, whatever. It's a wrestling belt. It'll be a piece, and that's all nice. But yeah, we have Liv Morgan against Nia Jax, all coming unaccompanied.
Anyway, I went with Nia Jax. Big mistake. What was I thinking? Because Liv Morgan does get the friggin' win in a complete schmoz.
Oh, I totally went with Liv Morgan on this one. It was so obvious.
I know I should have.
Raquel, Dominic, and the Tiffy cash-in threats. There was no way Nia was coming back. Now, I posted I thought Tiffy would cash in, but actually I agree with Jeff.
I did too. I actually predicted she was going to cash in, but she didn't, of course.
Yeah, but but that was entirely because they seem to be taking Rhea off of TV. Obviously in hindsight, it's obvious that Jeff of the past was correct, saying what they do is one person cashes in very quickly, sometimes same night, which is what happened, and the other one they keep the story going, almost all the way to WrestleMania, if not till WrestleMania. So, but listen, Liv was the underdog, wrestling as the underdog babyface in this match. It was it's someone had to, and it was the good. That's how a little person can be believable beating a big person. I actually thought this match was really good. So I thought this match was a lot of fun. I mean, Raquel still doesn't look like her timing is exactly right, and I hate
sucks.
And I hate the whole dance of the cash-in, how the cash-in takes. The whole point of the cash-in is it's supposed to happen quickly so that you can take advantage. It's like, it seems like you sure? You're really sure? You're really sure? You're really sure?
And
okay, let me take this
too.
Yeah, and then you have to
sure?
run to the far side.
Sure?
Well, you just run in, you throw it to the ref, and you do at the end. I mean, there's no more ultimate opportunist, which was the whole gimmick. But
I blame the refs though, not really Tiffy.
No, this is Vince. I blame Vince and Triple H for keeping this. He started this whole thing so that you got interference from Tyson Fury to Austin Theory to this. I mean, and sometimes they made it work well with the CM Punk screwing Drew McIntyre, but for the most part, I dislike it.
Yeah, everyone loves screwing each other in this company. It seems. Well, T and Cooper wants to know though, could we have a Raquel versus Tiffany feud?
One day,
sure,
but
why not? Not yet, though.
Who wants it?
Yeah, I don't. But did you notice her Raquel's chest area grew a little bit?
No, I think it's just. You're saying things. I think it's just because she was mercifully covered up and probably had some sort of top underneath to keep headlights from being there.
No, I guarantee she put something under there to make it seem a bit more pink.
No, I think it just captured them in a small area so that they didn't. There wasn't as much volume for them to flatten out. But whatever it was, she still looks terrible. I mean,
I agree.
She needs to either change her outfits or she needs to get the Tiffy Stratton Kiana James special. I think Pepe Le Pew, Mighty Mouse, and Cindy Lauper all deserved to be world champions, or are we prejudiced?
Wow.
I think we're all prejudiced, or at least you are. I'm a pretty big fan of a lot of those people, though.
So am I, actually.
Well, yeah. I mean, we did have two small blondes as champions today. So,
and thank you for joining us, by the way, Mr. Spaceman.
Yeah. Once again, Triple H showing that he loves his indie darlings.
Weirdly enough, it seems like you're right, but nevertheless, Liv Morgan. Did I say Morgan? Liv Morgan wins by pinfall, becoming your WWE Women's Crown Jewel champion.
Morgana Le Fay, indeed.
And you know what? I'll give her this because Triple H comes out afterwards to do the good old finger job, if you know what I mean. All the way around.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm talking about, Jeff. The finger job.
They had some very awkward in the right way type of like half hugs.
Jeez,
like very paternalistic, nothing creepy about the little hugs there. Just seemed like I'm proud of you. Enjoy your moment,
definitely,
kid.
of course. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
It wasn't like full absorb the body and kind of hug.
No, not at all. Not at all. Although the Saudi crowd seemed like they were very giddy. You know what I mean? When it comes to the women, I don't blame them, but you know.
You understand that the people in Saudi Arabia procreate the same way the rest of us do.
That's apparently true. I mean, it is true. I mean, how do they appear? I mean, what is their actual
the jinn?
There's the jinns. They come from around that area, but in all seriousness, what is their population actually around? Do they have like tens of millions?
I don't know, but there's a Google machine.
That's true. I'm not going to bother.
I'm going to go with 60 million.
I was going to say 35 around there, something like that. But I'm not going to check just yet. Someone check for us in the chat. Come on, man. Tell us what the deal is. Anyway, like I said, Liv Morgan. Jeff enjoyed it. I thought it was fine, and just until all the bullshit just happened. What?
Nothing. When you were talking, it was going. I thought you were doing an MF Doom.
Oh, sorry.
Rap.
I didn't notice, but you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Candace Spaceman says, I'm glad I missed most of your rundown. Have not watched Crown Jewel or the kickoff yet. Was watching movies all day and had a good time. That new John Cena action comedy Jackpot is pretty awesome.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
That's a bit early, Canada. Very early. Josh says Triple H taking lessons from Tony Khan about hugging. And
he only did a half hug compared to Tony Khan.
Yeah, but you know what was weird though? You know when he goes in to hug him and she's like right up against him where his head's on her head. That looked kind of weird, but
it's good. Okay. I'm going to look up population of Saudi Arabia right now.
Of course I'm remixing audio on the fly. Am I loud enough for you though, Mr. Spaceman? No, because he always complains I'm too low or whatnot. Anyway, forget that because
the estimated population is between 33,962,757 and 37,473,929.
Say that again.
Basically 35 million.
I was right. Look at that. I hit the friggin' nail on the head.
I don't know if that includes the labor force that they import from
they're illegals, okay?
Bangladesh and and Sri Lanka and all that.
Pakistan, India,
Nepalese,
Nepal, Nepalese peeps, all those Himalayan people, pretty much.
Bhutan, Tibet, Burma.
Yeah, Tibet, Burma. Could go on and on. Oh, Jeff has tattoos. Not a real Jew, apparently. Jeff.
Maybe they're not real tattoos. Maybe I'm not even. Maybe I'm not even real. Maybe I'm the one that's imaginary, and we've been fooling you all.
I'm definitely an AI construct, just quietly. And thank you, Josh, for that also. But anyway, let's get back to the show, shall we? Because we see Kevin Owens attacking Randy Orton with a steel chair while he's posing on a turnbuckles mid-entrance. Randy falls to the floor. Kev puts boots to him. Clears the announce desk. Randy Orton recovers and puts him into the steel steps. As we go back inside the ring, referee Eddie Orengo trying to restore order, but Kev hits Orton with a chair again as Eddie takes it from him and KO hits a stunner on him. And then we see referee Rod Zapata at ringside as road agents Kevin Dunn, Sean Daivari, and former Ring of Honor World Champion Jamie Gibson try to break it up, and Owens lays Gibson out with... sorry. What did I say Gibson for? Yeah, Jamie Noble, sorry.
You meant Deborah Gibson.
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Anyway, with the right hand, and we're informed the match is off suddenly as we see Orton again, though, grabbing a chair, and Daivari takes it from him. So Randy throws Sean into the post. KO gouges Orton's eye and gets the hanging DDT for his trouble. As then we see Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis come to the ring to calm everybody down. And then suddenly we see an RKO on Pearce.
Yeah, well, why'd they both come? I mean, both these guys are on SmackDown.
Good question. What was Pearce doing?
I mean, obviously they're setting up something because Pearce took the RKO and Aldis didn't. That Pearce was going to be mad at Aldis for not controlling his guys. Remember, they were talking about control your roster. And Pierce is going to say, this is the second time you couldn't control your roster, and I took an RKO. So they're obviously going to have these guys fight at WrestleMania. So or some
no
somewhere
Survivor
along-
Series. It'll be team. Come on, War Games, dude.
Oh, you
Team
you
freaking
think the
Elvis.
GMs are going to have to? They're going to populate
Yes.
teams on that.
As dumb
That's
as that
actually
is,
not bad.
yes. You like that?
I just figured that they'd have a battle of the former NW. They should both recruit all former NWA champions.
Come on,
You got on SmackDown, you've got Cody, you have Wade Barrett from commentary, right?
Actually, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Cody's a former AWA champion. We got AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, if he's healthy. On Raw,
Oh,
you
yeah, but he's not.
have
It's true.
you got Pierce. You have
Truth, God damn it. The
that's
first
right, Ryan
black
Killing.
NWA champion in the history.
I was going to get there. So
right.
Truth.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
There's more. This is probably more. I'm just thinking from the top of my head right now. So, there's more. Look, I guarantee you. Wait a minute. See, now that I said that, I can't think.
They can bring in Trevor Murdoch.
Yeah, but he's not in WWE right now, so he's still
I
in
know,
NWA.
but he's a former NWA champion, and they can
and
bring
former
him.
WWE Tag Team Champion.
I mean, you could bring in Chris Masters and Tom Latimer, former Strictly Business.
I like Tom Latimer.
Well, he's the current NWA
I know,
world champion.
But I'm surprised no one really recruited him.
I think that he wants to be a body model more than he wants to be a wrestler.
He's got a great body, but he looks.
I think him and Camille are sort of like just wrestling because they can. But I think they have other things that they do.
Yeah, but let him at least can wrestle. Compared to what's her name, Camille. Camille can't wrestle for shit, dude.
Yeah, no,
that's great.
We've seen that. Yeah, actually you've seen. I haven't. So I don't know.
Oh, you've never watched You've never seen a match of hers?
Oh yeah, I saw an NWA. I saw her when she faced Jade Cargill all those years ago. But like the last 4 or 5 months that she's been in AEW, that's been entirely exclusively during my done with AEW period.
Well,
I've seen her on the Indies.
Okay, interesting. Well, you know what, Josh? You probably hit the nail on the head. That's probably what we're going to get. KO versus Cody, Saturday night's main event. I actually like that little hype for Saturday night's main event, especially that they're using the old tune again, which just brought so much nostalgia. Zayn thinks that he's responsible for the Tom Latimer title win, allegedly.
I believe you. Ex-Zany.
Anyway, Zany. It was that
Ex-Zany.
Ex-Zany. Anyway. Let's move on to the next match, shall we? Because it is Andrade El Idolo versus Carmelo Hayes.
Aren't I going to say that I think that this ending in the no contest DQ was lame?
Well, we didn't really get into it because it was lame. Yes, it was.
Well, we're doing a review show, so we just shouldn't say what happens in the match and then move on.
I know. I don't want to waste your time, Jeff. Just in case you're in a rush or not.
We have an audience.
That's good.
I mean, they should at least hear what we think. I thought the match was pretty lame. I think they should have let it continue.
I like the action that we saw, right?
Yeah.
But to be fair, when we were making predictions, and I can't remember, I might have brought this up actually, that it could be a schmoz. It didn't make sense for this match to happen, to be honest. Because who are you going to put over anyway? If it's
whatever it is,
Orton,
they should have made a bigger deal that there was a DQ. You should have heard the bell going ding 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 ding, and the referees running there, waving their arms in the air, throw the match out. I mean, make a big deal of it. This is not the first time that the WWE has ended a match and we're supposed to infer what the ending is without them spelling it out for us. I mean, it's a PLE. You have 10 minutes between the matches. Spell it out.
No, you're right. It's lazy as hell, and lately it does feel a lot of AEW-esque type of booking.
I mean, I know they're supposed to tell us how 5 million tourists come to Riyadh a year. Yeah, sure they do. And how much fun it is as you're in turtlenecks and turbans and in 197 degrees. But hey, the air conditioning is great inside.
You know what's disturbing? Speaking of anyway, did you see those two sheiks that turned up? Right, those kids in the front row initially, right? Not the hard camera side, but the other side, right, where the camera's focused on more so. And I saw these two little kids, and I see these two sheiks turn up, right? They rock up, and then the kids end up walking away, and then they take their seats, dude. And I'm like, what the hell was that about? Like, what was going on there? You know what I mean? Just the way they're like, move, ta'ala yalla,
I don't know.
ta'ala.
I mean, is it not possible that they were their seats and like they told the kids they could be there to get like autographs or pictures, and they said okay, and then we're moving?
Maybe just the way they did it just didn't look right to me. And then again, these shows, I don't know if anybody realizes this, but they're not public shows. Not anyone can just go and buy a ticket and actually watch the show. It doesn't.
They're awarded. I don't know how they're awarded, but they're awarded by the Tourism Commission, which is run by, one of the princes or several of them.
What was it Sheikh? What was it Rahman?
Adnan Al-Kaisi, Skandar Akbar, and Adnan Al-Kaisi. Yeah, and the Iron Sheik. They form the triumvirate that makes all the decisions.
But was Sergeant Slaughter technically Arab at one stage?
Yeah, he's the secret higher power.
Yeah, he wasn't CIA. He was like a double agent. He was really working for the Taliban.
He was in GI Joe. He was a double agent. But yeah, no, he's the secret. It's always a white guy that's screwing things up. He was the colonizer.
Always.
Yeah.
America. Remember that? Yep. Good old Sergeant Slaughter. Anyway.
All right, maggot.
Yeah. You maggot. Why did you used to talk so slow at one stage?
I'm not sure that he spoke that slowly. I think you're speaking slowly.
That's how we used to do promos, you maggot. When he was a heel, anyway.
I'm pretty sure that's not how he did promos.
In WWE, he definitely did.
Turn up.
That was more when he was American again. But anyway, did I mention that we got a 3-way for the United States Championship?
Me and 2 strippers again?
Well, yeah. Now
that was the best.
Oh, the best. But Jeff, in all seriousness, though, actually, one more thing I wanted to ask. After this Kevin Owens Randy Orton thing, no, you're throwing me off, goddammit. Where do we go with Orton and Kevin Owens just before I move on again?
Obviously, this is gonna continue. I mean, maybe it's the reason why neither one of them is in the Royal Rumble, or they, but obviously this is going to be a blood feud for a bit.
Ugh, I don't care. I feel like Orton, this is the same old shit. I mean, not Orton, Owens. It's just the same old shit. Like,
it is.
I don't know, man. Like, Josh thinks KO and Orton at Survivor Series, I guess, or Saturday night's main event, possibly. But no, I think
maybe both.
He's the nail on the head. No, I think it'll be Cody Owens at Saturday night's main event.
Maybe it'll be a triple threat.
Maybe could be.
And maybe that's when Randy realizes the KO was right, that Cody isn't someone to trust him.
So then we get rated KO.
Yep.
Get it, rated KO. Mm-hmm. God damn it! That's what
you just do RKO. You don't need to do rated.
True, you can just do RKO. I'm trying to,
I mean, I just come up with it. They had T-shirts.
Right? Yeah, for Orton though, not for both of them.
No, they did. They had the R, and then they had the KO, like it was masking taped over it, but it was printed on the shirt.
Really? I don't remember that. Yeah. But that's funny. Yeah. But why not? It makes sense, right? I mean, it writes itself. Definitely, right. It writes its own checks too.
Damn right.
But anyway. So back to the 3-way match for your WWE United States Championship, no less. Again, I was bored of this match. It was all right. It was cool. It was a fun match, sort of. And LA Knight does get the pin with the BFT on Hayes and retaining his US Championship.
Yeah. Somebody thinks these 3 guys work really well together, and these 3 guys don't work really well together.
Wait. Who said that?
I don't know, but whoever keeps booking them together.
Oh, I thought you meant literally now. Someone was in the chat saying that. Yeah, well,
I can't see the chat.
It's boring. Can't you?
Well, I guess I could if I clicked on it, but I don't because I would get distracted. But
okay, fair enough.
I mean, I don't know. I think I would have rather seen LA Knight versus Andrade as a solo match.
Has his US title run been anything to sort of brag about so far? Yeah, and if not, is it his fault?
I mean, he's still super over, and he's winning. So his title run's been fine. I mean, the people who have to chase him and stuff, and he's sort of riding the fence between being a face and a heel. So
Right.
once he turns, but they tried to build up both Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. I don't think either one is really working. And as I said, I think last week when we were talking, and you were dreading it, eventually they're going to have, if they can't advance apart, they have to advance together. And they'll probably make a team. And I mean, and one of the teams we mentioned that's sitting around doing nothing, Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, well, they just lost a guy. So
Yeah.
so
Well, I
Apollo
said it
Crews,
too.
unless they're going to stick him with Nakamura or Giovanni Vinci, then
Oof.
then they need to find something for Apollo Crews to do, unless they're planning to release him too. And
I'm going to call it. He's the next one to get released. Him, as in Apollo Crews. And what was the other guy you mentioned? Damn it, I just went
Vinci,
blank.
Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah, Vinci. Vinci's
I mean,
out
I
of here.
think I think you could loan them both to TNA and let them work for a while. I don't think you need to release them. I mean, I think
They
they're
don't bring
both
nothing.
under 35. I mean, if I'm
Are
WWE, I'm
they?
not releasing anyone that's under 35.
Vinci, I
Or
think is. I don't think Apollo Crews is, but he's not 40 yet. I don't think. I'll look that up anyway. But he'd be 35 at the very least. Oh, and by the way, did you hear about Chris Bay? Obviously,
of course.
apparently he's pretty much done now. Apparently his injury is a lot worse.
Well, they took him away for emergency neck surgery that
Right.
night, which I mean could just mean that there was something that needed to be removed surgically, or
I don't
would
know,
mean
man.
very serious. But I
Well,
mean,
I'll
my
tell you
understanding is
what.
he's made a full recovery. I don't know what that means for his future. Someone setting up a GoFundMe the same day is pretty telling about what they thought, because it felt like a little bit quick to pull the trigger on a GoFundMe when it's a work-related injury. I mean, I know wrestlers don't have health insurance, but the companies do have they have insurance for when they're injured doing the shows, wrestling. It's just they don't have health insurance for like if they got pneumonia or something,
Right.
or slipped on a
Banana peel?
fell down the stairs or whatever, not
Right.
at work. Anyway, so yeah, that was a bit telling. But no, I wasn't aware of it, but I'm not surprised. It's
Well,
listen. Go
no,
ahead.
continue.
I don't really know much about Chris Bay. I know he was sort of in Bullet Club. I know he was sort of a small guy. I know him and the tag team ABC. They had some success, and probably not the type of wrestler that I would have been a fan of, at least instinctively. But certainly don't want anyone to break their neck.
Absolutely not. And best wishes from all of us here at HMG and the PWC for Chris Bay. But the reason why I also, though, realize it's really serious, like extremely, is because, do you know the wrestler El Fantasmo?
Yeah.
Did you hear about what's happening with him lately?
I know he's injured too, and I know Vikingo screwed up his knee on the same show as Chris Bay.
Well,
But I'm less sympathetic to Vikingo because he wrestles a crazy ass style.
He's a fucking
And he's
idiot,
small.
straight up.
And also Marco Stunt retired from wrestling because of his injuries. I mean,
hallelujah.
these little
Praise the
guys doing
Lord.
their crazy moves. I mean, this is what all of us have been warning about,
Praise the Lord. Thank you, Lord. But you probably will.
But what
come
happened
back
to El
eventually.
Fantasma or El Fantasma, whatever?
El
He's
Fantasma.
another New Japan guy, right?
He is a New Japan guy, and he's also a Bullet Club guy.
Right.
But yeah, he did get injured. But get this: when he went to the doctors, he obviously had blood work done and whatnot, and they found tumors, cancerous tumors, and it looks like he's going to be in a long battle. He's out indefinitely, and he's going to have a long battle fighting cancer. But this is what he said: he goes, "But I'm not scared, and these are strong words. I'm not scared. I'm going to fight it. Don't feel sorry for me. Please, don't pray for me, but pray for Chris Bay. Don't pray for me. I'll fight through this." For him to say that, and he's got, it's a serious case for him. I mean, seems like his cancer seems kind of bad, but for him to say to direct your prayers to Chris Bay. That should tell you how serious Chris Bay's injury seems. It is.
Yeah,
So.
listen, I think there's also an element of denial or being brave or being generous in there, and I'm not gonna take away any of the good thoughts that he should be meriting for saying that. But people can pray for more than one person, and
Right,
if you're
absolutely.
praying to an actual deity that's out there, they should be able to handle receipt of prayers for multiple injured wrestlers and multiple different types of situations. But yeah, cancer is terrible. I hope they caught it early. This is not the first time
Doesn't
that,
sound good.
somebody that they found cancer because of something else.
Right.
I don't know what to say. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
you want everyone to recover.
absolutely. I hate just that C word is just to me, man. But yeah, it is what it is. Get well, El Phantasmo, and obviously get well, Chris Bay, because yeah, I mean, they're not the only two fighting either. For their careers, no less. Because look at look what's going on with Luchasaurus. Seems like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not coming back to wrestle, dude.
Well, a few weeks ago, I published a show with Jet Jansen, who trained him, and he said that he's down to 60 or 70% of his lung capacity. Now, that was a few weeks ago, but yeah, I mean, they're just hoping he'll make a recovery and seeing where it improves. Which is going to be a far cry from them being able to work out and then being able to work out to get into ring shape, and he's probably about 40, 41 at this point. I mean, not that
I
that's
think
old, but it's
39.
39.
Oh,
Um, we'll
and Polo's 37, by the way. And thank you, Josh. I did see it, but thank you for looking it up too, man. Appreciate it. 37
Apollo
years
Crews
old,
is
Apollo
37.
Crews.
Oh, well, that's borderline then. Anyway, you need bench players regardless. And I think that you could put Apollo Crews, into any position and he'd be fine. He's not, except for main event. I mean, he's not a main eventer, but you can.
Hell no.
I mean, you can make him face a heel. You can put him in a faction. You can make him a jobber. You can have him as a guy that gets surprise wins. Whatever.
I was gonna say, it's anyway. Yeah, look. Either way, doesn't matter where he is on the card and how big of a wrestler he is and whatnot. All we hope is that he gets well, and that's all that matters. And yeah, man. But Blaze Nick says the company should be paying for Chris, not the fans. That's true too.
It's
But
not
depending
just
on the
it's not
contract,
just the guy. It's the industry. It's not. I mean,
right?
that's why they need to have some sort of guild or union that they're a part of. Whether you consider them independent contractors or not, makes a difference. But SAG-AFTRA covers both, and the wrestlers can actually apply. Lots of wrestlers are members of those unions, but it doesn't matter in wrestling because the employer has to use the union contract also, which is part of it. But if the wrestlers actually unionize and did it in bulk, the wrestling companies probably would have to, or at least they'd really look like the bad guys. I mean, and everyone would expect WWE to be the bad guys, but
Right.
you would think at least AEW would try to lead and show how good they are. But they just put into court a pleading in the case, the class action suit in Philadelphia, saying AEW wrestlers and talent are properly classified as independent contractors.
Well, Josh brings up an interesting point because I thought I heard this too initially when AEW first formed.
They did,
as he said.
They did say it when they initially first formed, and they had to retract it 2 weeks later.
Oh, really? 2 weeks later?
Yeah.
And I was just going to ask you, what happened to that?
Yeah, it never happened. I mean, they have event insurance too. So if you get injured in the ring, it'll cover those injuries.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not covering your lost wages and whether the employer can choose to pay you, and they can tack time on your contract and things like that. But yeah, no, they initially Tony Khan said, yeah, we're gonna make everyone an employee and everyone is gonna get health insurance. And then I think the Young Bucks a couple weeks later,
the
EVPs
they whispered do have health insurance.
Yeah, and then they made Cody say it out loud that they didn't, and that's one of the reasons that like so many of the key wrestlers in Tony's mind are also employees.
You know what? Do yourselves a favor, and go watch the Cody interview with what's his name?
Probably
Schultz.
Chris Van Vliet.
Nah, Schultz. What's his first name?
Schultz,
the comedian guy. You'll know him, dude. something Schultz, man.
Former
Anyway.
Secretary of State George Schultz?
No, he's younger. He's a sort of young. You'll know he's got a mustache.
Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes?
No. Anyway, he's got good shows, basically, right? But he had Cody on. He never does wrestlers, but Cody pretty much had the most candid 3 hours I've seen him ever. He answered a lot of questions about payment. And it's like he forgot he was doing an interview. Like, you got to check it out. Just type Cody Rhodes, will come up.
Well, I won't. But you and the audience, you also.
No, it's a good watch, man. I'll tell you now, those 3 hours flew. It
Still not going to.
He claims that he's getting paid 15 times more now than he was in AEW, by the way.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was pretty shocked. And there's the Cody lies. Have you heard about that?
No, but I mean, I'm sure
just put it that way.
I'm sure just from merchandise alone, he's making 15 times more.
Yeah, well, he was saying like he's making a lot of money basically, but
yeah,
but anyway.
And then from pay-per-view, he headlines every pay-per-view. You do get. I mean, your salary is your minimum downside. Your upside is on top of that.
And his downside is probably fucking Andrew Schultz. That's the one. Thank you, Zane.
I'm sure his minimum downside is $5 million. I'm sure he's the same as Roman.
And that's what I was gonna say. His downside, I bet it would be in the millions anyway. So it doesn't even matter. Like he could just chill. I mean, he's got a bus.
I mean, you have to work a certain amount to get to that point. It's like a draw. You have to work, and then you start getting paid above it. But the merch is above that, and other crossover things that he does are above that. I mean, he's yeah. I mean. 15 times. Am I surprised by that? Yes, but we don't know what he was paid in it. I mean, he never got past that first contract, which was rumored that the top guys were getting in the beginning were getting $1.3 million. So if Cody's making $16 million a year, all said and told, that doesn't seem impossible. And so he would be making 15 times more.
He also clarified about him not, being able to win the AEW World Championship. You know how he booked himself in a corner? He said he never wanted to win the championship, ever. He didn't want to do it because we talked about it.
He didn't want to be considered Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
We talked about it then.
I know. But he came out to confirm it 100%. That's why.
Well, duh.
Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah, we all said it back then, but it's 100% fact. But
he didn't want to be like Hulk Hogan. That doesn't work for me, brother.
The Hulk Hogan, not Hulk Hogan. Anyway, well, I guess it's time. I haven't heard that in ages. For your main event. And it is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, as we were just talking about, versus that ain't got out in Gunther for your WWE men's crown. Well, it sounds like fucking you're going to win a pair of nuts, basically. Your crown jewels. Championship, whatever you want to call it, but it's just basically a pair of nuts, golden, diamondy nuts.
It's a giant belt. That's all it is a giant belt.
It was those brass rings that Vince has always spoken about.
Vince has got. There is no Vince.
I didn't say
the only Vince is Vincent in Ring of Honor and the Righteous.
Oh God, I hate those guys, man. Yeah, I said it.
Vincent's been on Garden of Doom. How dare you?
I was going to say that. I'm sorry, but they're talentless hacks. I said it. Yes, I said it. How
dare you?
Canada Spaceman, I'm holding a mic because my boom arm before we went on the air broke. And it's bothering me that I'm holding a mic, actually.
Why don't you give us a little Sinatra? And the summer wind. We can sing Witchcraft.
I've got singing mics. This is actually for radio, this mic. Funny enough.
Really?
So,
you know what you should be doing? Start spreading the news.
Get over there. No. Anyway. And by the way, Mike is spelled with a C, not like K or E, if you know what I mean. Just saying, you're saying the person.
Sorry, everyone. This is my influence on him, getting persnickety.
Yeah.
Talking down to you and being condescending and patronizing, that's me.
No,
that's my influence.
Don't be
so proud.
That is him. That's all him. That's not
so
me.
proud. I'm so proud of what's happened.
He says Frankie Sinatra.
He would never do this with Chris or the Vets or Ray.
That's true. You're right. That's weird. But then again, you threw an emoji at me, and I was shocked. I was like, what? Did you just lull me? I kid you not, this guy never, ever, like, he would never write a lol or I'm telling you, the only emoji you get is the thumbs up. That's it. Like,
it's called de-evolution by growth.
oh, tell me about tell me about it. I kid you not, that stood out like dog's balls. Put it that way. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, dog's balls.
Wow. All right.
I'm with you though, Jeff. I told you I was kind of in panic mode here. I was saying off
Mm-hmm.
the air because I'm trying to set up and shit was breaking while the match was on in the background. So I was half-assing, watching it, to be fair. But at the same time, if it was real, if it was such a great epic match, it would have grabbed my attention. I felt like these two are too alike in terms of wrestling style. And when I say that, they're not alike, but they're alike because they're more grounded wrestlers, right? They're slow, methodical.
They're both technical. They're both technicians. They're both ground wrestlers. Even when they go up, it's sort of slow and methodical. I agree. They're the same type of wrestler. They're the same type of personality. It's just one is completely smug and the other one is like the eager, confident one. But yeah, this is going to sound worse than it is, but I think this, if someone was going to book an intergender match between Natty Neidhart and Cesaro, it would have been this match. It was, this match was tediously boring. There was no emotion, and even at the end, Goju just shook his hand and made the thing like, you and I are going to meet again. It's like, please no. This was terribly boring. As a matter of fact, I would have rather seen Natty Neidhart versus Cesaro in hindsight. Natty goes over.
Jesus. Whoa. You know what? I would have put Natty over too. But in all seriousness, yeah, even the end, dude, with Gunther shaking his hand. Come on, Gunther. You know what I mean? Give me a break.
No Kaiser, no Goldberg, no Kevin Owens comes in to try and screw things up. No shenanigans whatsoever. Nothing. Just a straight up wrestling match. And I'm sure if you loved, watching that old George Hackenschmidt match from 1906 that's floating around that everyone's pretending they're enjoying, then you would have loved this match. But I thought this match, technically it was fine, but it seemed like it was sort of in slow motion to me, and it was boring as fuck.
You know what? The times also for the both of us, I think, doesn't help. For me, I'm watching it at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever. I could easily just nod away. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And for you, it's in the early afternoon. So, it's lunchtime, thereabouts or just after.
No, it was like 4 to 4:30, but I was eating like a lot of chocolate chip cookies, so I was all sugared up.
It happens. But you know what I mean? Even in the afternoon, though, you could easily get distracted by doing.
Sakaria baked. She baked chocolate chip cookies.
Yum.
She ate one. I ate like 27.
Isn't that always the case with us? I mean,
I had to, but before her son got out there and ate them all.
Well, we won't go there, Jeff. But
I'm like the lion. Anyway. If I don't eat first, it's going to be gone.
Well, yeah. Well, look, I used to be like that when I was a kid. Like, my parents, like my mum especially, would get so annoyed. You know what I mean? Because if she doesn't get to, man, she used to start hiding shit. They used to piss me off.
25. He's not a kid.
Well, yeah, that's a fair point too.
By the way, do any of you want a 25-year-old?
I think I've spoken to him once. He seemed like an alright kid. He's a good.
Do you want a 25-year-old?
if you're willing to send him all the way down here, no thanks.
Yes. Yep. Deal. Sold.
It's all good.
Yep. No problem.
But I don't mind the kid anyway. That's all I'm saying.
Good.
For the one interaction that I had.
He's yours. What's the address?
I got along with him, oddly enough. So
that's fine. Is it like do people from Ecuador need a visa to get to Australia? I know I did from the U.S., but nobody likes us.
You're funny. Can I ask you a political question quickly?
Sure.
When are we gonna find out the winner of this fucking thing?
We already know. Trump already told us he won, and they're cheating. So. When are we actually going to know?
Has he won? I don't think he's won. There's a good chance that he might not win.
There's a very good chance in that there's already been over 65 million votes cast. And usually the early voting favors. Well, it's not necessarily so, but I don't know. Anyway, when do we think we're going to know for sure? I mean, I think we'll know by Saturday.
Damn, I want to know
But
earlier. Not
but
Saturday.
I'm sure there's going to be 900 lawsuits filed
You think so?
after. Well, I mean, if last election is, frankly, ever since Bush v. Gore has there been an election without?
Right, you're right.
I mean, litigation and the whole thing is the courts way back when they should have said, "No, we're not getting involved. We're not hearing these cases." They say the court should not have been open. They should say you must reach this evidentiary threshold before you hear the case. It should be different than other cases, and that probably would have kept a lot of this out. I mean, it's funny because the guy from the governor of Pennsylvania was the attorney general during the last election, and he said the Trump team filed 43 lawsuits in the state of Pennsylvania after the 2020 election and went 0-43.
Because what I gathered on TV, Harris had a lot more people at her rallies, dude. It seemed like.
Well, yeah, but
like a few days ago, anyway. Whereas Trump had a few thousand. Yeah, Camilla had like 70,000 people. It looked like.
Yeah, but there was a lot of people who helped to make that happen.
Well, of course, there's that too.
I mean, it was the anniversary of January 6th. I'm sure every women's group was organizing. I mean, I'm all for that's fine. That's politics.
Literally.
Yeah, but as far as rallies are concerned, Trump certainly aren't what they were. But I mean, Trump rallies are sort of like legendary. I mean, I don't know why people think that they're good politics. They seem like carnival shows to me, but
well, they
whatever.
are. I mean, they are essentially these days. It's become that way. But Josh says over 70 million have voted already. That's a lot, man.
Yeah. Now the funny thing is, the Republicans they don't want that, but they're like only people should be able to vote in person on election day. The party of the military. How are the military that's deployed overseas supposed to vote? How are college kids that go to other places? The people who are future, middle and upper classes. How are the people in the foreign service supposed to? I mean, it's like they just don't think. How are people that work for all your oil companies that work? How are all the contractors? They deploy 15,000 troops to a country. What they don't know is that there's also 43,000 U.S. contractors there. I mean, how are they supposed to vote? And what about old people who can't stand in line for it? I mean, it's like.
But can't you mail your votes in though? Technically, like
in most states you can, but certain states they won't count. Like Pennsylvania won't start counting until election day. It's like
why?
It's like I don't know. It's the dumbest thing.
That doesn't make sense.
I mean, the thing is,
makes sense.
I don't want to bore people with how stupid voter fraud. I mean, first of all, if you just accepted the Trump campaign lost every single legal challenge at almost every level of the courts, I think. But even when they won an initial, it was like a hearing or a motion, or whatever, they would lose in the end. They went 0%, and half of their lawyers got disbarred, got sanctioned, got fined. Some went to prison. Some are still in prison. I mean, that's really all you need. But to commit voter fraud in the United States, you'd have to have powers beyond powers, because forget about that. Every state has different systems. Every state has different ballots, but not just every state. Every county and municipality has separate ballots because they all have separate bond issues on theirs. But even within the county, because congressional districts aren't drawn by county. So in Baltimore County, you might have, Baltimore County is probably not the best example, but in some counties, you may have areas where there's 3 different Congress people who have parts of that county. So all of that would have to be tribal. And Maryland's a small state. So imagine the big states where
Maryland's got a lot of cool,
you'd have to
voting.
Yeah, you'd have to either really scientifically target your fraud and get it all right. I mean, it would be a monumental feat to be able to do that. You'd have to be the counterfeiters of all especially since the candidates aren't all selected and final until the springtime. So you'd have a very short time to do it. Who could do that? You would need Dr. Strange to do it.
Well, unless they're all in on it together, like literally everybody. This is all planned.
Everybody,
anyway, like everybody. I truly mean that. both sides. You know what I mean? That's the only
No,
way.
everybody, the workers, the printers, the paper
Everybody, yeah.
manufacturers.
Which is kind of impossible, though, too.
Well, listen, if everybody on Earth is in on it, then that's truly democracy. I mean, if everyone on Earth is participating, it's not a conspiracy. It's the system.
Oh man, it's fascinating for me anyway. Put it that way, but we'll see what happens there. Zane says, "Isn't it hilarious that WWE used Cody and the Saudi show to reboot MJF?" I don't get it.
Neither do I.
Please clarify a little more, Zane. I don't understand. Canada Spaceman says a lot of people have mailed in ballots already before this week, and some states claim that they did not have many, and it's not looking good. I expect chaos this time.
Oh, unlike the lack of chaos we had last time when there was actually an insurrection that stormed the Capitol.
Oh, that was ridiculous, dude. And that woman got killed, if I remember
Good.
correctly. Yeah, I know. Josh says it makes sense. America doesn't do it. Okay, if you want it to be fair without corruption bullshit, say, why not get an outside country that's close to actually count the votes, say? Or is that too risky?
Like who?
Well, there's Australia, there's the UK, Canada. Someone that's very close, obviously. That shouldn't.
You mean like close, like friendly?
Yeah, in that sense, not
as opposed to physically.
Land. Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, because Mexican has allowed their candidates assassinated.
But Mexico's a whole fucking. Mexico's just the whole country is just fucking. They're finished in that sense, dude. They're all corrupt. The cartels run.
Half the country doesn't want to be in the UN or NATO, and you think that will allow someone else to run the elections?
Yeah, you put it this way: you wouldn't give the ballots to fucking Mexico, that's for sure. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? But like something like a commission of sorts, even.
Every state has commissions. I mean,
I know. See what I mean? I can see how the fuck. It's almost impossible. Like
it is impossible. That's the thing.
Damn, just thinking about it actually gives me a headache because it's like coming to that conclusion. It's like, well,
it's like there's not like one ballot that has the two choices or the 5 choices for president, the 2 senators, and however many Congress people. If each county has their judges, they might have their sheriff, they might have the clerk of the court, they might have some combination of the number of Congress people, and they all have about 20 different bonding referendums, for the grand municipality, and sometimes the municipal, like you could be in Prince George's County. But if you live in Laurel, you also have Laurel City bond referendums on your ballot.
That's the same as us.
It's not possible to commit that kind of fraud in that kind of time. It would be like crayons. You'd see it would be ridiculous on its face.
Oh, now I get it. By the way, I'm just looking at Zane and
you mean Exani?
Oh yeah, Exani, or Khane. Talk with Josh in the chat. Now it makes sense to me because Josh says, "Zane, are you talking about the MJF and the ring? You got the ring."
Oh, I see. Yes. I thought last I watched AEW, MJF lost the ring.
He's got the ring back. You know how he got the ring back? By the way, this is great storytelling. I just want to tell you.
I do not.
Take a guess.
He wished upon a star.
Well, he went all around America. Supposedly, I'm probably exaggerating, to go and find the pawn shop where he got pawned. And guess what? He found it.
The pawn shop or the porn shop?
Pawn, PAW.
Did he go with AJ Francis and Triple H?
Could have. I mean, to find the watch.
WWE Treasure House.
To find the watch, yeah.
To find his own
show.
ring.
I like that show, dude.
Okay.
It's actually quite entertaining sometimes. No, but kayfabe, well, you don't see any footage. He literally went to this pawn store, not porn, but pawn, and
nobody wanted to buy it.
Apparently, no one wants to buy it but himself. He eventually paid for it, got it back. So that's how he got his ring back. So I get that part.
That's an awesome story.
So it's awesome, bro. And what do you mean? What do I mean by that? What did I say for you to say that? I don't even remember. Anyway, but back to that. I think I mean, is there anything else to really talk about other than post-match Gunther shakes Cody's hands, as we said?
No,
And
but
Triple
it's
H
the
gives the finger
SmackATAck.
job
We didn't
again?
say anything about SmackDown. Is there anything important about SmackDown?
No, not really. I mean,
Cool.
obviously it is a SmckATAck, but really it's a Crown Jewel review show.
We
to be
live!
fair. See, we swerved you, pal.
The Motor
Swerved
City
y'all.
Machine Guns will be on the Grayson Waller Effect. They thought they were going to be on Miz TV, and the Street Profits beat Pretty Deadly. I think that's all of consequence that happened, if you consider that to be consequential.
Well, he was wrestling here in the independent circuits, by the way.
Who?
I'm talking about Grayson Waller. Yeah, no, she
When?
went back to his original because he was here too.
When?
Must have gotten homesick.
Oh, okay. Good. Did I freeze or did Jimmy freeze? Yep, it's probably Jimmy. Yeah, well, that tells it's me. Usually when there's freezing, I'm talking to myself, and his is still going, and then it just turns out that I'm talking over him. But yeah, so Jimmy froze.
Damn it, pal.
Anyway, yeah,
Wait, can you hear me?
SmackDown didn't really have anything that was of any note, as I recall. But gotta be honest with you, I didn't watch it last night, and I only put it on for 40 minutes this morning. I mean, I fast forwarded through pretty much everything.
Yeah, it sucked. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah,
everybody?
I mean, I know that that Damage Control's representative won, and they had of the 4 women's tag teams that that competed today, they had one member in a fatal 4-way, and I think that Kairi Sane got the Io Sky got the pin, so you knew that they weren't going to win today. Stuff like that. The Bloodline, that Solo cut a pretty good promo, but listen, there's nothing to talk about on SmackDown. So listen, I signed up for Crown Jewel. I didn't sign up for SmackATAck. I found out that this was supposed to be SmackATAck ex Zany when you did.
He was complaining on Twitter, as he always does, always bitching and shit.
I don't know.
Sorry,
Why
Zany,
am I
love you,
doing? He doesn't
Kanye.
even follow me. Why am I doing a show for him?
Yeah, no, why don't you follow Dr. Jeff Lippman, Zane?
Yeah,
Oh,
why
damn
don't
it,
any of
man.
you follow me, jerks?
You know what's weird, dude? I re-followed you a couple days ago, 3 days ago, but I was already following you. Why did I have to re-follow you again?
I've been hearing from
bizarre.
people who have like large accounts that's been happening. I haven't noticed it happening to me, but maybe it has, and I just don't know it because I don't have any. I don't have any
Bizarre.
followership to speak of, and
Well,
I
we've
don't.
got decent followers. We got over 1,000. You got more
Yeah,
than
but I'm
me,
on
but
2
we
accounts. I
both-
spend more time on the smaller account. I mean, it's
Yeah, but both of them, you got over 1,000. That's a good thing. On my other account, I've got like 900 followers, and this one, I'm over 1,000. My actual one.
Wow, that's great. Very exciting.
Zane, why don't you follow me, pal?
I'm the star here. I'm the celebrity.
Oh no! Oh, we've got G Ball in the house before we actually. I mean, where have you been, G Ball? We're about to take it home right now, but he says voter chips to U.S. citizens inserted into their thumbs.
I mean,
counting
G-Ball,
officers for
are you
state
not
security.
aware of all the conspiracies out there that thought that we were being chipped when we got COVID vaccines? I mean, Americans aren't going to be
Oh, my
chipped.
God.
Our country is at least 47% insane.
Yeah, your country is pretty insane. That's true. I'll say that. You know the old term "only in America."
Mm-hmm.
That runs right
you,
outside of America.
ufology and Christian paranormal have merged in the middle.
Wait, that's Mormonism, pretty much.
Yeah, right. They might as well just adopt Mormonism and Scientology and then call it a day.
Yeah, absolutely. Scientology is exactly that.
Yeah,
it's exactly that. As a matter of fact, but yeah, I don't know, America. That's why I'm so fascinated with America, dude. In all sorts of, because the Bible Belt even is a real thing. Like you guys are technically the most religious country in the world. You know that?
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, we're going further backwards every day. I mean, so.
God, I feel for you, Jeff. The way
we're going into the dark ages. we probably have more flat earthers too.
Oh yeah, probably. But there's a lot of them around the world, though, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, they can't be around the world. They would just be on the world.
Well, you're right.
They have to be on that game board of the world. They come possibly around the world. What are you talking about?
You totally destroyed me with that comment. If only you wrote that, I would have started. That might have beaten Scotty Woodford's comment earlier. That was a good one. I like it. That was a touche moment.
It's all right. I'm happy to let Scott have the title of Comment King today, and I'm on the show. That's fine.
Scotty,
When Scott's your co-host, I'll write something funny.
Hey, I'll bring him on if he's willing to do a show. I've been thinking of opening calls, doing some phone calls in the future. If I was to open up the lines, guys, would you guys actually call in, or would I be doing it for nothing? Let me know in the chat because I need to know.
Yes, Blaze, Nick. Of course, the world is a basketball. What do you think the ley lines are with the telluric fields? Why do you think the pyramids were built the where they were?
Yeah, I know.
See, I'm reading comments you're not putting up there because I'm distracted. I'm going back into private chat.
That's how you saw it. Okay. Yeah, I know there's too many idiots out there, dudes. I don't understand. They can't even prove shit either properly. Like, you know what I mean? No. Sure, some of this shit makes kind of sense, but it's still it's
just funny that people who don't believe things that have gone through testing and rigorous scientific method and have been fact checked by 100 different sources, they won't believe. But like Atlantis, oh, absolutely.
Atlantis I kind of believe in because there's evidence of that, dude.
We were tinkered with by aliens. Oh, yeah,
no, not the aliens part. I do believe in aliens, though. Actually, believe it or not, I've seen a lot of UFOs in my time, dude. A lot.
Oh, that I believe.
Years. No, really, I'm being dead serious.
I believe that you were abducted.
Don't say that to me because I've always been scared that I have.
And when you got up there was Ricochet, and he's like, "Revenge is mine."
And Samantha,
it's time for the anal intruder.
Actually, before we do go, that's a good segue. Samantha,
where are you guys taking me? We're taking us to Uranus.
Oh shit! And then you see Diddy also pop up. Oh, that'll be the ultimate nightmare. He's like, take that.
And the captain's seat turns around, and Vince is going, "It was me, Jimmy, all along."
And he starts shitting on your head. Oh no! Oh, then Bin Salman is there suddenly too.
Wow!
Oh boy, what a
rock and roll band in space. Space is where the freaks are.
You know what's freaky though? I could actually picture that. The way you're saying that, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, damn, that's pretty hard. That's like, that's pretty bad. But now I'm thrown off.
Jeffrey Epstein comes out of the bathroom. You thought I was dead.
Oh, that's what I was going to send you. I saw something. Apparently some sort of reports with Trump, actually, and Weinstein, supposedly.
Supposedly, there's pictures of them and recordings of them for
the recordings.
40 years.
The recordings, man. And apparently that could really fuck him up maybe sometime this week. And they're getting ready for it.
I mean, it's all baked in.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Everyone knows he's a man slut.
Yeah. Blaze Nick says, it's funny how we have cancer for centuries, but for a little flu, they come for a vaccine in 9 months. Yeah, right. I agree. I think
there are different things. I mean,
no. But see, cancer. You could say maybe we do have we do know how to get past cancer, right? But then again, why are all the rich guys dying by cancer too? Like, if they do,
I don't know. But there's been huge improvements in cancer. I mean, during the course of my life. I mean, things like prostate cancer and breast cancer.
Prostate.
They were death sentences before. They're not any.
That's
they're
true.
not any
You're
longer.
right.
I mean,
my
ex-mother-in-law who's not a particularly healthy woman, survived 2 bouts of lung cancer in her old age. Not like when she was 35 and 42.
How old was she when she first got it?
It's probably in her 60s. Maybe 70s. So
70s, okay, it's not bad.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, she's not a healthy woman. All I'm saying, there was a worldwide effort on what you call the little flu, which killed 5 million people, and worldwide.
Yeah, but to see the vaccine, I'll never get the vaccine for the flu. Never. I hardly get sick. I did get COVID that one time, but generally I don't get sick for like at least 5 to 6 years when I catch a flu. I've got a good immune system in that sense, man. I can go out. I'm good in the cold, but now I am getting older, so you know what I mean. But my dad stopped taking the vaccine because every time he got the flu vaccine, he was sick and sick bad.
That's just okay. All right, great. We covered SmackDown, covered Crown Jewel,
Oh,
covered
so we're
cancer.
Go now. We're going.
I think it's time.
Did we cover COVID? The Koof. Anyway, actually, I've caught it before, Blazed. It's real, bro.
Yeah,
It's there.
like I said, 47% of our country is insane, and
Yeah.
there's one.
Jesus Christ! I didn't say that. Just quietly.
I did.
I didn't say nothing. This guy did. Anyway, in saying that, let's not start trouble. Let's have some fun with the stuff. So, Jeff, tell them where they can find you, man, and what you're doing.
Well, I mean, my two X accounts are right below there, at Those Evil or at Icarus FellND. You can follow me on both. I will follow back, of course. You can find me on Facebook. Aside from a professional guest, I'm out of the wrestling podcast game, but I do have Garden of Doom, which has 3 titles: Garden of Doom, Garden of Views, and God presents the Book of Black. Garden of Doom is ufology, paranormal, comparative mythology, history, alternative history, archaeology, alternative archaeology, all the things that we've been talking about. Conspiracies, pop culture, you name it. Garden of Views is more legal, tech, science, pop culture. But the same type of variety. And God presents Book of Black is me and PJ Black talking to people in wrestling about Garden of Doom things. But I also have 3 semi-permanent alternative co-hosts. One is Mr. Thomas from NLW. Another is Super Panda. And LaFisto just agreed today to be one of the alternative co-hosts. So we'll ramp up the production there and have quite a variety of guests.
Nice. Canada, pass the couscous. Now, where's the tabbouleh and the hummus, bro? Get that happening. But anyway, if you want to follow me on the Twitter, you can. Also at the, you can find me at DJ Mass Effects, also at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at the Hamin Media Group YouTube channel, where please keep sharing, liking, and subscribing. Let us get to that 1K mark. We're so close. We're under 100 away. Get us there. And we're flying. It'll be very much appreciated. Also, like and subscribe at channelattitude.com with $5. Not only do you get the best, but also the realest talk in all the pro wrestling. Also, like and subscribe at haminmediagroup.podbean.com for our affiliate shows. And like and subscribe at the PWC Network YouTube channel. You can also find the show right there at the PWC Network. And in saying that, let's take it home, Jeff. I think we're done. I am Jimmy T. That is Dr. Jeff Lippman. And you've been listening and watching the Crown Jewel SmckATACK right here on the Hamin Media Group and channelattitude.com. And also, look out for Directage tomorrow morning, where myself and the Vet will be talking all things AEW. So look out for that. 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. Don't miss out on that, because I'm sure we'll have a doozy. In saying that, we're out. Peace.
Stay with my friend.
حاجي العريس، شو عريس؟ وين العريس؟ وينه؟ حاجي وحدي؟ طب يلا كرمال العريس آخر نطة معي. ها نطة شكرا، تصبح على خير. نطة انتوا اخواتي وانا بدي اروح. انتوا اخواتي. نطة خاطركم صار بدنا نروح، استيروا ما شفتوا منا. بخاطركم صار بدنا نروح. تعال يا عصفور تعال. الله اخر نطه اخر نطه حاجي. تعبنا ولا؟ قفز الارنب هرب الارنب كنت قريبا من هو العام. شكرا تصبح على خير.